When you hear about artificial intelligence, especially in a field as critical as life sciences, you expect these huge breakthroughs. But what if I told you most of those brilliant AI projects, well, they just fizzle out? Today, we're going to look at a really interesting, structured approach designed to solve exactly that problem, this massive failure rate for AI in a super regulated world. So, here's our game plan. We'll start with a problem, something called AI pilot purgatory. Then we'll check out a pretty radical 5-day sprint solution. We'll peek inside that sprint, see what it actually produces, and then really dig into why this whole thing works and how it ends up creating a totally risk-free roadmap. Let's get into it. All right, first up, before we can even talk about a solution, we have to get our heads around the problem. And it is a big one. We're talking about stalled innovation, and believe me, it has a very, very high cost. Okay, just let this number sink in for a second. 95%. That's the failure rate for AI projects in life sciences. That means for every 20 projects that get started, only one, just one, actually makes it into production. It's a staggering amount of wasted time, money, and frankly, genius. So you have to ask, why? Is the AI technology just not good enough? Well, no. According to the source material, the tech itself is often amazing. The real killer is trying to integrate it into the existing GXP or good practice workflows. These are the super strict regulated processes that are the absolute foundation of the industry. And this creates a kind of catch-22, which the source calls the compliance productivity trap. See, the rules are there for a really good reason, to keep people safe, but they've become so complex that they accidentally create this massive drag on the very innovation that could make things even safer and better. It's a trap. And the first sign you're in this trap, a massive brain drain. You've got brilliant engineers, you've got top compliance experts, and they're spending almost half their week. We're talking 30 to 40% of their time just doing manual paperwork. It's an incredible waste of talent. From there, it's a domino effect. Every single new tool has to go through these painstaking validation cycles. So what should take weeks ends up dragging on for months and months. Innovation doesn't just slow down, it basically grinds to a crawl. And that brings us right to the heart of the matter, pilot purgatory. This is where good ideas go to die. An AI tool works great in the lab, it shows all this incredible promise, but it just can't break through that wall of compliance and integration. It gets stuck in this endless loop of testing and never ever delivers value in the real world. So if the old way just leads to this purgatory, how in the world do you break out? Well, let's turn to the solution, because it's a totally different way of thinking about how to get AI off the ground. The big idea here is radical compression. Forget the sprawling 6-month projects that lose steam. This model takes the entire discovery, strategy, and planning phase and crams it into one intense, super focused 5-day work week. And here's the kicker. With that speed comes a really bold promise, a guaranteed return on investment in less than 3 months. It's not just about being fast, it's about delivering a real, measurable financial impact, like right away. Okay, a 5-day sprint that delivers an entire AI strategy? That sounds pretty wild, right? So let's pull back the curtain and break down what actually happens day by day to make something like that even possible. The momentum here is just relentless. Day 1 is all about getting everyone aligned and picking a high-impact target. Day 2, they use AI itself to interview all the key people. Day 3 is making sense of all that data. Day 4, they build the actual blueprint. And by Friday, boom, it's all wrapped up in a presentation for the executives. It's a whole strategic project in 1 week. So after this whirlwind 5 days, what does a company actually get? I mean, what do you physically walk away with? Let's look at the concrete results that come out of this whole process. Now, this is so important. The output isn't just a bunch of vague ideas on a PowerPoint. It's 4 specific decision-ready documents. You get a technical blueprint, a detailed financial breakdown, a business case that's ready to go straight to the board, and a practical roadmap to actually make it happen. And this chart, this really shows you the so what of it all. The potential here is just huge. We're talking a 70 to 80% reduction in the time it takes to get through these critical compliance processes. Think about that. A task that used to take 2 months could now take just over a week. That's a game changer. Okay, but why does this actually work when so many longer, more expensive projects fail? Well, the source material suggests there's a kind of secret sauce here, and it's made up of 3 key ingredients. First and foremost, it's about deep, deep specialization. This isn't a generic consulting firm that knows a little about AI and a little about healthcare. These are people who live and breathe life sciences regulations. FDA, EMA, the whole shebang. They already know the rule book inside and out. So you take that laser focus and you combine it with AI tools that were actually built for this compliant world from day one. And then, and this is critical, the teams themselves are a hybrid. You have industry veterans who've been on the factory floor paired with top AI engineers. It's that blend that lets them move so incredibly fast. And finally, let's talk about the business side of it. Because the way the whole deal is structured is specifically designed to remove all the usual fear and hesitation that comes with kicking off a new AI project. It's really presented as a clean, simple package. There's one fixed price, no hidden costs, no surprises. There's a hard 5-day deadline, so the project can't drag on forever. And then there's that big ROI guarantee, which basically shifts all the risk away from the client and onto the provider. And the source material puts a number on it. The investment for this entire 5-day engagement is a flat fee of $8,999 that covers everything from start to finish. And really, the biggest takeaway here is that at the end of that week, the company owns a complete, custom-built, and totally actionable plan. There are no strings attached, no pressure to sign a bigger contract. They're just empowered to take that blueprint and run with it. Which brings us to a really interesting final thought. We've seen how this model works for the unique challenges of life sciences, but could this be the key for other complex industries too? Think about finance, or energy, or aerospace, all these highly regulated fields. Could this high-speed, low-risk sprint be the way they finally break through their own innovation logjams? It's a pretty compelling question.